This is Amy, and welcome to Owning Your Personal Brand. This week's episode will be a little bit different. I'm doing it solo. There won't be a guest this week, and I wanted to take some time to talk about my personal brand journey so far. It's about halfway through 2022, and I thought it would be great to just share with you what I've learned so far, what I feel like I've accomplished, and what you might be able to take away for building your own personal brand. One question that comes up often is why the focus on personal branding? Why did I choose that topic? And there really are a couple of reasons for that. One is I enjoy helping others, and I wanted to find something, a topic that I was interested in and I was passionate about that I could share with others. Personal branding for me, it's like twofold. One is I want to develop my own brand. But two is I need to find a niche to focus on for my personal brand. And so I decided to keep it as simple as possible and focus on something that I'm already immersing myself in, I'm researching, I'm learning and doing. And I can share all of those things with you on my journey for you to start your own journey. The second is awareness. One of the first lessons I learned when I started running Creative Allies is that as a small business, you are the brand. And a lot of people, before they trust your company, they need to trust you. So before they'll do business with you, they need to trust you. What that means is whether you're a founder, a CEO, or a leader in the company, you have to put yourself out there more, certainly more than I was doing or what I was used to. That means being more active on social media, being more active with networking, maybe speaking more, things like that. So for me, personal branding was about building awareness of my brand that can also lead to awareness for my company. And the last thing is lead generation. One of the byproducts of all of this awareness is that people start to invite you to things. They invite you to speak, they invite you to lead webinars, they invite you to lead different workshops and seminars. And that all that does is put you in front of their audience. And people in their audience may possibly need your services. And so it's an indirect way to generate leads, but it definitely works. And I'm looking forward to not only building my brand, but getting Creative Allies a little bit more known as well. And eventually, we're looking to, hopefully that would generate leads for us. That's not the first goal, but I definitely think it will be one of the byproducts of all the work on personal branding. I've gained a couple of things so far that I thought I would share with you. One is around consistency and new habits. Having the show has been wonderful because it's something that needs to be done every week. The way I'm doing it is it can be any day of the week, which makes it flexible for me, but also flexible for my guests. All I have to do is find out a week that someone is available, and then it's like whatever day and time you'd like to do it, we'll do it. And that's been really good because then I know leading up to the show, there's certain things I have to do. After the show, there's certain things I have to do. So it's really helped with just discipline and creating habits around making sure that I'm doing the things that are necessary for my personal brand. Content, which is a huge part of everything related to personal branding, that consistency really leads into the content creation. And again, it's just on this weekly cycle because I have the show of creating content, whether it's social media, blogs, videos, but getting on a schedule. So instead of doing things more in an ad hoc way, but just getting on that schedule. That's something that we do for our clients, we do for I do for our business, or I help to do for our business. But for me personally, that takes a lot to shift over and really focus on yourself and doing that. But once I got into a rhythm, and it's been really good just to have that consistency and that planning. And then networking, because people are now recognizing some of the things that I'm doing, they're reaching out more. Some people are in my network, but maybe I haven't talked with them in a while or we've not worked together yet. But this show has been a really great way to not only expand my network, but go in a little bit deeper into my existing network. Having guests on the show has been great because I get a chance to pick the brains of people that I know, but also allow them to share their own expertise to my audience. And that's been a really great benefit as well. couple of highlights I want to share with you. I did my very first keynote talk earlier this year, which was both, the hardest thing I've done, I would say, in business, just from a nerves standpoint and a fear standpoint, but certainly also one of the most rewarding. And I wrote about that recently. You can check it out in one of my blogs, which is on my website, amiethompson.com. And it's called Using Fear as Fuel for My Own Personal Brand. We actually covered this topic in the first episode of the show, where we talked about how you can't let fear stop you from pursuing your personal brand and really owning it. And that keynote talk for me was really the catalyst to what made me feel comfortable and confident to do this show. And honestly, I felt like I could do anything after doing that. But and I talked about personal branding. That was the topic I chose because I knew that's what I wanted to work on for myself. And it's like, let me just at least share with others what I've learned up to this point. And so that was a really big accomplishment because of some of the things I've been doing with content and different things like that. I've been invited to lead more webinars and workshops, which has been great. We started a leadership series for women called Showing Up Strong. I started that with one of my client partners, and that's been going really well. We completed our second session actually earlier this week. And really, the focus there is on Black women in leadership. And the reason we wanted to do that is we just found in our networks, there weren't a lot of opportunities for leaders or up and coming leaders to get exposed to other leaders in a little bit of a formal way. It's an informal conversation, informal panel discussion, but formalized in that, we hold these events. So we hope to keep those going. We do it every few weeks. You can head over to showingupstrongnc.com to learn more about that. But that's been something really interesting. Again, I think it comes back to the confidence, have an idea, let's just try it. Let's just see what happens. Maybe nobody will show up, maybe somebody will. And we've actually had pretty good turnout at both of the events we've had so far. And then blogging, back to the content, like I was mentioning, and the consistency. I've been in a really great rhythm, starting to write only in the past 2 weeks though, but starting to write blogs. I've actually made it my goal for July to do one blog a day. And I've been pretty good at it, not every single day, but pretty good at it. And one of the reasons why I think I have stuck with it is I found that if I do it first thing in the morning, I find that I have a lot of creative ideas as I'm writing the blogs that can help with other things that I want to do. And I just never really thought about that connection. So getting at least the outline done, if I don't get the whole article done, but at least the outline and some of the research done, I have been doing that every single day. And that has really just helped in my momentum for the personal branding and the consistency. And then also the content and creating content, because of course with the blog, I can do a short video about it. I can do social posts from it. And so that leads to content and also content that you could repurpose. And then of course, this show, Owning Your Personal Brand, has been really exciting and something that, we've done for the past month and a half or so. You can head over to owningyourpersonalbrand.com if you like to check it out. And it's just been really rewarding just for the reasons that I've already talked about. It is something I never thought I would do, but I'm very glad that I have done it. And it's just that consistency of doing something every week. Doing it live has been phenomenal. We don't really do any editing other than when we're creating the video snippets. So when we have a conversation with somebody, it's just out there. People are like, well, when is the episode going to be released? It is released as soon as we finish recording it. And that just makes it easier. It makes it more efficient. And I have really enjoyed the process of doing it this way. We do release the audio version on the podcast every Tuesday, but the live show, I'm really enjoying that. And I plan to do that for a while and do more of that. So it's been a great, first half of the year so far with thinking about where I started in January, what kinds of assets I had, what kind of content I had, what kind of experiences I had at that time. And then now into mid-July, it's been a pretty great trajectory so far. I'll just end this with something that if you have followed me or you've seen the show, you've definitely heard this before. If you don't own your brand, then someone else will. So be very careful and cautious about that. Owning your personal brand is critical. Everybody has a brand. And so it's really up to you to be proactive and own that. You can start small. You do not have to be an expert in anything to start, but really get a grasp on the core things that you need, which in my opinion are knowing yourself and knowing who you are, picking a niche and finding an area to really focus on, and then making sure you're clear on who your audience is so that you can create information, you can create content, and you can share lessons for that audience. Just remember though, if you don't own your brand, somebody else will. And then, of course, every week we do the live shows. Podcasts come out each Tuesday, and you can head over to owningyourpersonalbrand.com to learn more about me. You can also learn about the show, see the past episodes, and check out my blog. I thank you so much for sharing in this journey with me. I would love any feedback that you have. Also, I'll take any questions that you might have. You can follow me on my social channels, and then, of course, catch me each week on Owning Your Personal Brand. Take care.